Hey there, I'm Elise and welcome back to my channel. So if you've seen some of my prettiest videos, Hey there, I'm Elise and welcome back to my channel. So if you've seen some of my previous videos, you know that I recently finished cancer treatment here in Korea. I also had some smaller health issues in 2022 and 2021, and if you can't hear, great, but I'm sick right now. So I've become very familiar with going to the doctor here and like making appointments, going to the appointments, etc. So today I'm going to talk to you about what you need to know if you need to see a doctor or find yourself sick while you're here. But before we get into it, don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Instagram for more advice, stories, and peeks into my real life in Korea. Alright, so the first thing that you should know is that Korea has split clinics up based on the areas that they treat. So while there are general clinics and family clinics like back in the States or maybe back in your home country, there are a lot more clinics that only deal with one specific part of the body or one specific area. So it's very common to visit a specialist, but this can be really intimidating for foreigners because we just don't know which specialist you're supposed to see for which problem. But here are the clinics that you'll most likely need to visit and what they do. I mean, I hope you don't have to visit any clinic at all while you're here. I hope that you stay healthy and safe. But if you have to go, if you feel that you're sick, here's the list. First, if you have a bad cold or you feel any kind of congestion or soreness in your nose or your throat or anything in this area, you need to see an ear, nose, throat doctor. That's where I need to go right now. In Korean, this is called ibi inukwa. So these three orifices are connected. So that's why they're all handled by one doctor. This is also where you can go if you need a PCR test or an antigen test these days. There's no longer a need to go to those special tents. I'm not even sure if they're there anymore. They might still be there, but you can just find Ibi Inuka and get it done pretty quickly. Next up, let's say that you're having some stomach issues or some toilet troubles. You know what I'm talking about. You need to go see a nekwa. The dictionary says that this is called an internist. I really have never used this word before seeing it in the dictionary today, so I don't really know exactly how to explain, but basically, like anything in your stomach or intestinal regions is going to be the internist or nekwa. Common reasons that people go to see negwa is because of like gastritis or like really bad diarrhea or any kind of stuff like that where you got to go to the bathroom or like you're just hunched over because you're in pain. Go to an internist. If you've got the runs, you run to a negwa. Now, if you have any kind of rash or itchiness or even just bad acne that you want to have treated, then of course you need to see a dermatologist or in Korean, pibukwa. I think a lot of people think of this as like a luxury thing, like somewhere you go, like a spa, but they can also just treat actual skin illnesses. Like your skin is part of your body, it can get sick. So you can go see a dermatologist, and not only can they do like facials and cosmetic things, but they can treat the skin issue. So don't shy away from going to a dermatologist just because they're also offering some cosmetic treatment. You can also check on their website, like what kind of things they do besides cosmetics, and just find the one that seems the most comprehensive for whatever your issue is. Next up, for all my ladies out there, if you're having any problems with your lady parts, then you need to see a gynecologist or 산부인과. So depending on the clinic, you can visit for anything like maybe you think you have an infection or an STD, or if you're having trouble with fertility, anything vagina, you can go to the gynecologist. So one more time, in Korean, it's 산부인과. If you need to get your eyes checked, you can go to an 안과, or in English, ophthalmologist. If you need glasses or contacts, you don't need to go to an ophthalmologist, you need an optometrist. But you can just go to any glasses or contact store and the optometrist is already there and they offer tests for free. So the whole testing part you don't pay for, and then you just pay for the contacts or glasses. I don't know
Wow.
what happens if you actually don't buy contacts or glasses. I don't know if the test suddenly isn't free anymore. I've never done that. I don't recommend you do that. But anyway, that's a whole separate thing. Side note, glasses are very cheap in Korea. If you need a pair of glasses and you happen to be coming to Korea, just wait till you get here and you'll get you'll get them in a day. But back to the doctor part. So if you have like pain in your eyes, like soreness, or you're actually having like complete problems with your vision, not like, oh, I can't see far, like you cannot see,
Nope.
then you need to go to Anqua. Finally, the last department that I think that you might readily need is the dentist or 치과. And we can argue all day about if this is medical or dental or whatever, but anyway, it's a qua, and I think that you will need to go there, so I'm including it in this video. There are a lot of dental clinics actually that target foreigners, and they give you like pretty like offers like, oh, we speak your language and we deal with foreigners all the time, we're ready for you. But what I find is a lot of these places can be very scammy. Like they are very much victimizing foreigners. I have a lot of dentist horror stories actually. I can make a whole video just about going to the dentist. I think I will, but not today.
Nope.
The point is, rather than looking for an English speaking dental office, I recommend that you just look at the dental offices that are in your neighborhood and pick the best one. Take yourself some your phone with an app ready to go, and it should be fine. There's no such thing as foreigner teeth. Your teeth and Koreans' teeth are the same teeth. Go to the best dentist, not the English dentist or whatever language you speak. I speak English. So now that we've covered the different types of clinics that you might need to visit, next you'll need to know how you can find a clinic next by. Damn it.
What?
Next you'll need to know how to find a clinic nearby and how to make the appointment. So when I'm looking for a specific type of clinic, I'll usually go to Naver. Sorry, Google is not going to have all the available results and it might not have the best results, so I highly recommend that you try Naver and just type in the name of the clinic and then the name of your neighborhood. So let's say, for example, I live in Gangnam. I don't live in Gangnam, but let's just say. So I would type something like Ibi Inuka and Gangnam, and then search. So it'll pull up a list and sometimes a map of all the available Ibi Inuka in Gangnam, and then you will just have to look at the reviews. If you can't read the reviews, that's okay. There's like a rating like 4.8 or 4.9. Sometimes they're low. Don't go there. So yeah, I look at the rating, I look at the reviews, I look at the photos, and I choose the place that appeals to me most. All right, so because the clinics are broken up by department, they usually don't have really long waits. And so a lot of them just take walk-ins. You don't need to make a reservation, but that's not every clinic. So when you're on the Naver page, the word that you're going to want to look for is ye약. And you can just control find if you don't want to find it. But ye약 means reservation. So if you see this, then it probably means that they need reservations. But a lot of the Naver pages allow you to make a reservation directly, and this will automatically switch to English if it recognizes that you registered in English. So this part should be easy if you have to do it on Naver. But let's say that they have the word ye약, but they don't have the feature to make ye약 through Naver, then you might have to call. And sometimes, just to be sure, I just call anyway, even if I don't see the word ye약, because I'd rather know before I walked all the way there and then can't make an appointment. So I just make a phone call, and guys, like, I hate making phone calls. I'm a millennial. I cannot make a phone call even in English, so making the phone call in Korean, hate it. But you just do what you gotta do. I don't even know if what I say is correct, but usually I just say something like, 네, 오늘은 의사 선생님이랑 상담하고 싶은데 예약 필요하나요? And then they will answer yes or no. And then the phone call ends. And it's really like, it's gonna be over in like a minute, if even a minute, really. And if what I said just now is too hard, literally they'll answer the phone, hi, this is blah 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 clinic. And then you can just say, 예약 필요하세요? Do you need a reservation? Or 예약 필요해요? Do you need a reservation? Like both of those things I said mean the same thing. Anyway, it's not a Korean lesson. Just say something along those lines. They will say yes or no, or they might ask you like, what are you coming for? But that's really not the answer to the question. They will like 9 times out of 10 just say yes or no, and then the phone call ends. Unless you need a reservation, and then you need to be ready to say when you want to make the reservation for. But even if you have to do that, it's usually still the same day. You're just saying what time you want to go there. Very rarely. I think the only time that it wasn't the same day for me was when I had to go to a dentist and there was like some super fancy popular dentist.
Wow.
So I had to wait like a week.
What?
But anyway, not the norm, and usually no reservation required. And you could also make the reservation in person if you don't like calling on the phone. You can walk into the clinic and then make the reservation, leave, and come back at your reservation day and time. Okay, now it's time to actually go to the doctor. All you're gonna need to take with you is your ARC card or your passport and whatever you're going to pay with. I'm mostly assuming that people are going to be on some type of visa, and nowadays Korea requires foreigners with a visa to also be on the national health insurance. National health insurance is linked to your registration number, so that's why you're only going to need your ARC card. But if somehow you're not on the national health insurance, then you'll need your passport, what you're going to pay with, and then I guess you don't even need to take your insurance card. They're not going to take it, whatever clinic you go to. Maybe if you went to the hospital, different story. But you'll have to take whatever kind of receipt that you get to your insurance independently. So that's not important right now. So when you walk in, there's usually some kind of like secretary desk. You just walk up to them, give them your ID card, and they might ask why you're there. You can just come, like, very simply say, blah blah hurts. Like my throat hurts, 목이 아파요. Something like that. If you can explain your symptoms in more detail, like my throat is scratchy or like my throat is burning or something like that, then you can go ahead and explain in more detail. But this is just a secretary, so you don't really have to. And here's the thing, guys, I'm not Korean, and I've never been to the doctor with a Korean native speaker. I've never been to the doctor with anybody. I've been to the hospital with people, but for just a clinic, like, I don't take anybody with me. The point I'm trying to make is I don't actually know what the common thing for Koreans to say is when they go to the doctor, and I don't care. I'm sick. All I want is to go there, have the doctor tell me what's wrong with me, give me some medicine, and I leave. So I try not to think about, like, oh, is my Korean gonna be good when I go here? It's not perfect. Like, what should I say? Don't care. All I'm ever prepared to say is, this hurts. These are my symptoms. And sometimes I'm like, I think I have this. And then the doctor will chat with me after. So just go to the doctor. Don't panic over what the right thing to say is. Just say what makes sense in the situation. If it's something strange or Koreans don't say it, who cares? Also, I'm pretty sure that none of the other people in there care about you because they are also sick. So next, just like in any clinic, they'll hand you some kind of clipboard. So be prepared to write your name and your address and your phone number at the very least. And also whatever's wrong with you, your symptoms. There's usually also a section that will ask you about your basic medical history, but if you're not sure what this section says, rather than guess, I would recommend you just leave it blank and give them back the clipboard. Or you can try to take out Papago, and now there's that feature where you can take a photo and it translates the photo, so you can try that. But yeah, if you're really struggling, just don't do it. If they really need it from you, the secretary will just ask you questions and fill it out for you. I can't really show you an example of what the sheet looks like because it's going to be different depending on the clinic, like the type of clinic and the specific clinic you went to. They might ask you different questions. The only thing that I think is very important that you make sure you share, like even if you can't find where to write it on the form, is if you have any kind of allergies or like especially an allergy to a medication. They need to know that kind of thing. So even if you didn't find it on the clinic or on the even if you didn't find it on the clipboard, make sure that when you give the clipboard back, you mention like 뭐뭐뭐 알러지가 있어요. I have a allergy to whatever. So next, you'll sit down and wait to be called for the consultation. And this also is going to vary by clinic how they call you. Some clinics are very high tech now, so they just have like screen a screen that has everybody's name on it, like what order that you're in for waiting. So you'll wait till your name reaches the top, and then it'll tell you the number of the consultation room that you need to go to when it's your turn. But less high tech clinics will just have a staff that's calling people and telling them or like guiding them where to go. So it's really up to the clinic how they do it, but it's not like you're gonna miss your name. Like even the screen that has your name on it is going to call your name in a very computerized robotic voice and tell you where to go. So if you can't read it, then you can hear it. Okay, so once you're called, you'll go into the consultation room to see the doctor. I can't really tell you how this is going to go, but they'll basically just ask you, like, why are you here today? And then you say, I'm here because blah, blah, blah hurts. They'll have a look at whatever area you just mentioned, and then they'll make a diagnosis and tell you what the treatment is going to be. And here's the part where I got totally confused the first time I ever went to a clinic. So I'm going to tell you that so you don't do what I did. I sat there and waited for them to write the prescription because they said, like, we're going to prescribe you this medicine. So I thought, like, okay, prescribe it to me. And then we just had this awkward moment where it's like, I'm looking at the doctor, they're looking at me, I'm sitting there waiting. They're like, what is she waiting for? So anyway, the point of the story is after they've said all of this, it's done. You're done. You need to walk out and go back to the waiting room. Then the secretary is going to call you again to pay. And when you pay, they will give you the prescription sheet already printed out. Very rarely have I gotten it in the clinic with the doctor. And this is something I actually still do sometimes. Like sometimes, based on what they said, I'm still a little bit confused about if the appointment is over or if I need to sit there and wait for something. So I just give it like an extra 30 seconds. Maybe 30 seconds would be long. I give it an extra 10 seconds where I just look at them and then I'm like, 네, 감사합니다, and then like walk out. Okay, so let's say that you've paid and you've gotten your prescription paper. The next thing that you'll need to do is go to a pharmacy with the prescription paper to get the medicine. So usually, like if you're at a clinic, the pharmacy will be on the first floor of whatever building you're in if you're not already on the first floor. And actually, there's usually multiple clinics because they want your immediate business. They want you to walk out of that clinic, see their pharmacy first, and be like, I'm too lazy to think about which pharmacy I want to go to. I'm just going to go to this pharmacy. And they're all pretty much the same, to be honest. There might be like a 50-cent difference in the price of the medicine, but it's really not enough where you need to compare which pharmacy is the best pharmacy. Just, pharmacy, 약국, go there. So you won't even really need to speak when you go to the pharmacy because you have this paper. So you just hand them the paper and they will just disappear in the back and start filling the prescription. Then they'll come back out with like a pouch. What is this called in English? I'm gonna use like British English. Nobody in America says this, but they're gonna bring you like a sachet, like a big sachet that has all your medicine in it, and it'll also have like the chemical details of the medicine, as if you know what any of that means. But anyway, so they'll give you this sachet and they'll explain to you how you need to take the medicine. But let me be honest with you, I'm usually not listening to whatever they said. I mean, I got the gist. Like, okay, you take this one every 3 days with food, and you take this one every day with a meal all 3 times a day. Like, they're saying stuff like this, right? I'm not listening because it's written on the sachet and it's also written on the medicine.
Wow.
Even the pouches will say like 아침, like morning, 점심, 저녁. They'll tell you on the everything how to take it. So if you didn't understand what the pharmacist says, but you can read, just take it home and read it again. Or I mean, I don't ask questions. I'm just like, oh, 네, 알겠습니다, and take my medicine. Bye. Again, don't panic because you might not speak Korean. Just go to the pharmacist, give them the paper. It will go through smoothly somehow. Okay, so that's really all that you should need to know in order to find the correct type of clinic, make an appointment, visit the doctor, get your prescription, and get better. It can seem really intimidating at first, but once you've done it a few times, it's actually really fast and easy. Like, I'm usually not at the clinic for more than 30 minutes, and 30 minutes is on the long side. If you still have any questions about visiting a clinic in Korea or anything else about life in general, feel free to leave a comment down below. Lately, I've been getting very specific questions from you guys about very specific aspects of living in Korea, and so I've decided to start offering consultations. Check the description down below to see how you can book me for a consultation, and I'm sure after our session, you'll be well on your way to your real life in Korea. In upcoming videos, I'll be talking about things like how to go to the emergency room, how to go to the hospital, and even how to go to a Korean doctor, like an Oriental clinic. So make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that bell so that you don't miss out on my next videos. As always, thanks for watching. Bye! 다음에 봐요. I forgot to put on lipstick. That's why my face looks so weird. I kept looking at my face like, what is wrong with this video? I'm not wearing any lipstick. But anyway, show's over.